Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you work, your finances just, well, they feel completely exhausting? Between juggling bills, trying to save for the future, and constantly hearing about the next big investing trend, dealing with money can honestly feel like a second job. But what if I told you that building long-term wealth doesn't actually require constant hustle? In fact, it requires the exact opposite. Today, we're going to explore a completely different approach to your finances, one that prioritizes peace of mind and steady, reliable growth.
So ask yourself, when was the last time you actually let your money rest? Like, really rest. We live in a society that tends to treat money the exact same way it treats people. If it's not moving, hustling, or flipping, it must be falling behind, right? But that is just a stressful way to live, and it's an even more stressful way to manage your financial future. Welcome to Dollar Playbook. I am Taylor Reed. In this explainer, we're going to completely rethink how we treat our cash, taking it out of that daily grind and letting it calmly compound.
Here is our roadmap for today. 1. Neglected versus exhausted money. 2. Defining real rest. 3. 5 places money can rest. 4. The psychology of doing nothing. And 5. 4 steps to rest money. Let's jump right in.
Section 1. Neglected versus exhausted money. Okay, first up, let's talk about the two extreme and frankly equally unhelpful ways that most of us currently manage our hard-earned cash. We tend to fall into one of two camps, and honestly, neither of them allows for genuine financial rest. First, we have what I call neglected money. This is the cash that's just piling up in a basic checking account, earning like 0.01% interest. Sure, it feels safe because you can see it and access it instantly, but it's actually just sitting there rotting. On the flip side, we have exhausted money. This is when you're refreshing a brokerage app 12 times before lunch, you're panic selling stocks when they dip 2%, or you're buying some trendy new coin just because someone on the internet told you to. You're constantly moving money from account to account and ending up with absolutely nothing but trading fees and a massive headache.
Now, neglecting your money is incredibly dangerous. Think about it. If inflation is running between 3 and 5%, meaning the cost of groceries, gas, and everyday life is going up by that amount every single year, and your checking account is paying you essentially nothing, well, your money is literally losing its purchasing power every single day. Standing still financially actually means you're moving backward in slow motion.
Section 2. Defining real financial rest.
So if leaving it in a checking account is a bad idea, and frantic day trading is exhausting, what's the middle ground here? What does a completely new financial paradigm look like? Well, I absolutely love this idea. Your money doesn't need a side hustle. It needs a hammock. Think about that. Real rest for your money isn't just doing nothing. It's putting it in the exact right place and giving it the time and space to grow without you constantly poking at it. It's kind of like planting a little oak tree in your backyard. You don't go out and dig up the roots every weekend just to check if it's growing, right? No. You plant it in good soil, you water it, you make sure it gets sunlight, and then you just walk away.
Section 3. 5 places money can rest.
Now that we know what rest actually looks like, where do we put the money? Well, there are 5 very actionable vehicles where your money can safely sit, relax, and compound over time. Let's walk through them one by one. Before your money goes anywhere else, it needs a safe place to sleep. That is your emergency fund, and its bed is a high-yield savings account. Unlike a regular checking account, a high-yield savings account actually pays you around 4 to 5% interest. You're going to want to park 3 to 6 months of your living expenses right here. It doesn't need to grow incredibly fast, it just needs to be on standby for when life inevitably throws you a curveball, like a sudden car repair or an unexpected medical bill. It is relaxed, but ready.
Next up, we have index funds. If the emergency fund is the bed, index funds are like a slow, peaceful walk through the park. An index fund, like one tracking the Standard & Poor's 500, takes your money and spreads it out across hundreds of top companies. You don't have to try and pick the winners, and you don't have to time the market. You just buy in regularly, using a strategy called dollar cost averaging, and you let time do the heavy lifting. This boring, steady strategy has historically outperformed the vast majority of highly paid active professional fund managers over decades. It's wild, but it's absolutely true. Now, what is really interesting here is the concept of dividend investing. Imagine your resting money gets a little part-time job. You buy shares in a really solid company. Every quarter, that company pays you a portion of their profits in cash, which is called a dividend. But instead of spending that cash, you automatically reinvest it to buy more shares. Those new shares then pay you more dividends, which buy even more shares. It's this beautiful snowball effect rolling downhill, quietly multiplying in the background while you just go live your life.
Then we have bonds and treasuries. These are essentially the silent meditation of the financial world. Now, nobody really brags about their bonds at a fancy dinner party, but they serve a crucially important purpose. When the stock market is having a total panic attack and dropping in value, your bonds remain stable and predictable. They aren't going to make you incredibly wealthy overnight, but they provide that essential balance that keeps you from going broke and losing sleep when economic times get a little rough.
Finally, we have retirement accounts and real estate. When you put money into a 401k or a Roth IRA, your money rests inside a sort of tax-protected luxury suite, where the government agrees to take less, or sometimes even none, of the growth. And with physical property or real estate investment trusts, your money rests under a literal physical roof. The property tends to go up in value over time while also paying you monthly rent or dividends. You set these things up once, and you step back. Section 4. The psychology of doing nothing.
Okay, so if letting your money rest is so incredibly effective, why doesn't everyone just do it? Well, it all comes down to human nature, and why taking a passive approach feels so culturally uncomfortable for us. We are completely wired to equate action with progress. If we aren't constantly tinkering with things, we feel like we're falling behind. And social media amplifies this big time with FOMO, the fear of missing out. You see people posting these massive gains from risky trades, but what you're actually experiencing is survivorship bias. You only see the winners bragging, never the silent majority who just lost their rent money. Constantly moving money around gives us the illusion of control. It feels productive, but study after study proves that passive investors consistently outperform emotional, active traders over the long run.
Section 5. 4 steps to rest money. So how do we actually put this into practice and overcome our own psychology? Let's look at 4 clear, practical steps you can take to put your money into a state of restful compounding today. Step 1. Schedule it. Simply automate your transfers on payday so your money goes straight to your savings or your investments before you even see it. You are paying yourself first. Step 2. Protect it. Implement a 48-hour rule for any unplanned financial decisions. This means if you feel the sudden urge to buy a new stock or empty your savings for an impulse purchase, you force yourself to wait 2 full days. This lets the emotion fade before you touch your resting cash. Step 3. Experiment. Your strategy should absolutely match your age and risk tolerance, so adjust as you learn. And Step 4. Release the guilt. You have to stop feeling guilty for choosing simplicity over complexity. Remember, you win at investing by being patient, not by being busy.
I want to leave you with this one question. Will you keep running your money into the ground, or is it time to finally build it a hammock? Real wealth is built slowly, intentionally, and without guilt. Give your finances the space to recover and work for you. If this explainer helped you view your finances a little differently and brought some calm to your compounding, please like, share, and subscribe to Dollar Playbook. I am Taylor Reed, reminding you that sometimes the most profitable thing you can do is absolutely nothing. See you next time.